Excuse me, welcome back to Shill, where we fact check the future monopolies trying to buy our cultural childhoods. And in today's episode, Paramount just threw a nuclear-sized wrench into Netflix plan to scoop up Warner Brothers. Is this a heroic save from the competition, or just another billionaire power play? This could get messy, political, and yes, it could actually scuttle Netflix's 72 billion equity offer. Let's fucking go!
That in an instant replay.
Quick recap, so we're all on the same page. Deep breath. Netflix announced a deal by Warner Brothers Studios and streaming assets. An agreement valuing the of 72 billion, total enterprise value of 82 billion. Netflix framed its more content, more value. Cue the applause from the market analysis who like scale, massive from the regulators, and creative like competition. It's bad for physical reasons, bad for cinema, bad for the membership, bad for my pleasure, and I don't want it anymore. Oh, sorry about that, excuse me. Enter Paramount Skydance, led by David Ellison. Now, last week, Paramount fired a hostile 108.4 billion all-cash bid to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery outright, a move that would pay more per share and, crucially, would give Paramount control over the entire company, instead of Netflix's narrow offer for certain studio and streaming assets. Now, come on, that's not a polite counteroffer. It's a full-on bid for the whole damn picnic.
Yay!
Paramount's stated case, their budget gives Warner Brothers shareholders more cash and a simpler, faster deal without the complicated spin-offs that Netflix wants. But there's an obvious tactical subtext. Paramount bid either replaces Netflix as a buyer or forces Warner Brothers board and regulators into a prolonged fight that could delay or kill Netflix purchase. Either outcome weakens Netflix momentum. Paramount is literally trying to block Netflix by offering more and dragging the process into shareholder and regulatory landmines. Paramount has also taken the fight public, leaked memos and filings that make the story a full-blown PR war designed to persuade both shareholders and politicians that Netflix deal is unstable and risky. That's a playbook for hostile bids. Make the public case, then make the board sweat. Paramount's bid, though, is not pure we found a money tree moment. It is finance. The package is backed by deep pockets and big players. The Ellison family, Larry Ellison, private equity and investor groups, and reports name Jared Kushner's affinity partners and Middle Eastern sovereignty wealth funds amongst backers, and of course other financiers. The SEC filings show explicit debt and equity financing commitments tied to the offer. So yes, an expensive, heavily financed political charge play. Translation: Paramount didn't suddenly find 100 billion in their couch cushions. They arranged a combination of cash commitments, investor financing, and likely more debt. It's the same deal structure Netflix is using to borrow capital, bridge loans, debt packages to assemble a giant, massive bid. So when people ask, how did Netflix find 72 billion? The answer is, for both bidder structures is exactly the same, a mix of stock consideration, debt, and financing commitments. Did you know that film director Orson Welles used that scene with a cockatoo in his masterpiece Citizen Kane? The reason being was to wake up the cinema audience during his movie. A bit like now, I'm sure some of you are falling asleep. Now, this is where it gets strategic. Paramount's high bid creates multiple problems for Netflix. You've got shareholder uncertainty. Warner's board now has a competing higher cash offer to consider. If shareholders prefer Paramount's higher cash bid, Netflix's negotiated deal could be terminated or rebid. There's also a delay in regulatory runway. Takeovers this size trigger antitrust reviews, DOJ, state AGs, and potentially international regulators. Paramount entry lengthens the timetable and increases scrutiny. Regulators love fighting over the least harmful buyer, and the prolonged process could lead to more demands or even a full block. Let's not forget about litigation. Shareholder suites expect lawsuits. Consumer class actions are already targeting Netflix's deal, seeking to stop it on antitrust or consumer harm grounds. Now, Paramount's tender offer invites more shareholder litigation and proxy battles. Legal friction increases the chance of the Netflix deal collapsing, or it is materially altered. In short, Paramount's move doesn't just offer money, it weaponizes process, and it makes Netflix's life very, very difficult. So here's the bottom line for normal human beings. If Paramount wins, we may see a bigger combined legacy studio with a stronger theatrical push, but less streaming consolidation under Netflix algorithm. That could be good or bad depending on whether you prefer theatre releases or centralising streaming. Now, if Netflix prevails, the worry about a streaming mega monopoly grows. Consolidated library control, more leveraging to raise prices, and even more power to yank titles away at will. Paramount's bid in part is a bid to prevent that concentration. Either way, content availability will be subject to strategic choices and corporate power plays. So, owning physical media and backing independent distribution becomes a small act of cultural self defense. Yes, I sound like a cranky collector, but I am, all right? And relax and breathe and relax. So, what do we have? A billionaire chess match where shareholders, lawyers, regulators, and politicians are the pawns. Paramount's block is less about saving culture and more about buying it on different terms. A cash heavy counterattack that buys leverage, headlines, and regulatory headaches for Netflix. It's messy, it's political, and it's a reminder when corporations pick up entire studios like football cards, the rest of us lose control over how culture is distributed and preserved. Look, you want my hot take? Support the small players, collect physical media, and don't let a handful of suits turn your favourite movies into bargaining chips. Also, smash that like button. If you want more courtroom drama explained with sarcasm, then subscribe for more. And do let me know in the comments which outcome scares you more. Netflix owning HBO or DC, or a mega Paramount controlling a bigger chunk of Hollywood. If you're lucky, and if you're very lucky, I'll see you on the next video.
Hope you all enjoyed the fireworks. Good night.